Adams.
This is the greatest spectacle in racing. Huge run off turn number 2. He's going to look to the left, see if he can make a move down the backstretch. We're 220 miles an hour side by side. Down into turn number 1. Is anybody gonna lift? Here they come down the backstretch. Diving into turn number 3. It's a drag race back to the finish line.
The victory, 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Welcome back to the GOAT Locker Racing Mazda MX-5 Summer Series. And tonight we're taking on a very different type of track from what we've seen the last few weeks, as we are heading to the high banks of the Phoenix Roval for race 7 out of 8 here in the MX-5 Series. I'm Sky Shrek. I'm joined up in the booth tonight by Daniel Parks and our producer, Kobe Jordan. Daniel, this is going to be a challenge for a lot of these drivers tonight who are maybe not used to running at a track like this.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one, Sky. This is a hot track. It is dirty. It is slippy and slidey. These guys are going to be turning left to go right. This is going to be a lot of fun. Probably the most fun we're going to see all season long. This place is just awesome.
Yeah, we are anticipating a very high track temperature here tonight as well, and that is going to really throw things off here. Cars are going to have to be perfect through pretty much every part of this track because it'll be very easy for drivers to make a mistake, go skidding off-road, and go crashing into one of the concrete walls around here that can do a real number on your race car.
It looks like we have a little bit of a shorter field compared to some of them that we've had this year. Wonder if some of these guys may be a little intimidated, but I think we're in for a real treat tonight. This track is going to be hot. It is going to be slick, and these guys are going to be challenged. I had a hard time driving this place, even figuring out where the hell I was going.
Yeah, this is a very different track. If you're not used to a track like this, you can very much have some problems here, as we are about 3:40 out from the start of this race, 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Drivers are in qualifying right now. Most everyone is done their qualifying lap, so we are kind of just hanging out here until we get this one ready to go. But it will be a field of 14 cars tonight. Jordan Trask, your points leader at the moment, with Chris Nail second, Joshua Jackson third, Brock Price, Joshua Pennell, Jesse Fox, Bill Molfeld, Charles Abert, Kevin Price, Anise Softitch. The rest of your top 10. Both of your top 3 cars are in the field tonight. Joshua Jackson has had some problems here over the last few races. I don't think he's made it past lap 2 over the last couple races, so he is going to need to be on his A game if he wants to get back up to P2. And with only 2 races left in the season, Chris Nail is going to have to be on his A game if he wants to compete for the win.
Yeah, I think that you're going to see these three guys slug it out. It doesn't look like our ringers from last week made it into the field tonight, so we might actually get to see a straight up battle between our two or our three championship favorites tonight.
Yeah, we have had some ringers here in recent weeks, drivers who came in, ran this series, and were right up at the front of the field over the course of this one. Ian Miller, right there down in 16th in points, is your primary example of that. But yeah, like you said, not in the field tonight, so it's going to be a more open competition for the win of this one. Jackson and Trask will both look for win number 3, and Chris Nail, while he's up there in points, does not have a win yet this season, and we'll see if he can bring one home tonight.
Well, while you see the problems that Jackson has had, Chris Nail's been the exact opposite. He's been there, he's been consistent, he's not had the problems. And then, Jordan, kind of the same story for him. Jackson's going to really need a good night tonight if he's going to make up some ground.
Yes, we are at 2 minutes to go here, and we'll take a quick look at our schedule coming down to the end of the series here in this summer series. We got one more race to go after this. We've been to Lime Rock, Summit Point, Okayama, Winton, VIR, and Oschersleben there last week. This week we are at the Legacy Phoenix Road Course. And then next week we will end the season off at Alton Park International Circuit for one more ride here in the Summer MX-5 series before the regular Goat Locker Racing series start back up for the fall.
You'll have to do next week without me there. I'll be away out of training. So you, I believe, are going to have Samuel Yosef filling in for me next week, talking to him earlier. So you guys will have a good time. I'll be disappointed to miss the last one, but I got to go get some sunshine.
And training, races. And training, too. I've done some races with him recently. He is very good up here in the Goat Locker Racing booth. And he's also ran a couple races in the series and ran pretty well in the earlier parts of this season. So if he's up here in the booth, I'm sure he'll have some good contributions about what it's like to run in these MX-5s with these guys here tonight.
Oh, for sure. Sam's going to bring some experience and have a lot of things to say that are going to be really insightful. He runs this series pretty regularly in the main season. So, while we've seen him sporadically in the summer series, he knows these cars pretty well.
Yeah, and we do have that regular Goat Locker Racing season coming up here in a couple weeks in the fall. We will be doing some more MX-5s. Will not be broadcasted, but if you are interested in running the MX-5s, you can do that. They will be run on Fridays here next season, and the sports car series will be our broadcasted road series here in Goat Locker Racing, and that will go every Thursday, as always, live on V-Speed here with Goat Locker Racing. So we're going to get qualifying wrapped up here in just a second, and we will get ready to roll for tonight's race at Phoenix Road Course, as on your pole tonight will be the 73 of Joshua Jackson by only about 1/10 of a second over the 79 of Jordan Trask. Jake Ham, regular in the Oval Series, not a regular in the MX-5 Series. He's in this one tonight. He'll roll off third in the 21. Chris Nail goes from fourth in the 48. That's your top four, all separated by about 0.3 of a second here tonight. Jamie Libke goes from 5th in the 16th. I think that's her best qualifying start of the year here. Dave Calvert will go from 6th in the 90, and Jesse Fox 7th in the 17. Kevin Price will go from 8th in the 80 to round out row 4. That is, once again, 8 drivers within a second. It's some of the closest qualifying times we've seen all season here in the MX-5 series. Rounding out your 5th row, it's Alexander Sexauer and Charles Abert.
You have Wesley Burke back there in P13. Matt Weibers back here in P12 in the 52 car. Bill Molfeld with, I think, probably his worst qualifying of the year back in the 911 in P13. And Mike Swardson is going to round out our field in 14th in the 935. Kind of surprised by that time from him because he's been pretty consistent in the races he's been in as well.
Bill Molfeld, one of those drivers who seems to always be around the action here in the field, whether he's maybe up and fighting in the mid-pack or a little bit further towards the back. He always seems to be in a spot where chaos is occurring around him. So we're waiting on some drivers to grid up. We've got 30 seconds until our standing start tonight at the Phoenix Road Course, and it's going to be a good one. I think we're just waiting on that 935 of Mike Swardson to take the grid. And once he does, we'll be ready to roll.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't sleep on Charles Abert back there in P10. He was doing really good lap times in practice, and I guess just didn't hit it real good in qualifying.
He was a P8 in practice. I think Jamie Libke had a great qualifying run. We'll see what she can do as the lights are about to go out here at Phoenix Roval, and we are green in the MX-5 series here in Goat Locker Racing, and it's a good start for Joshua Jackson. We'll see if he can survive these first 2 laps after being taken out on the first 2 laps over the last couple weeks. Jordan Trask immediately being challenged by Jake Ham, who's running it down the inside here as we essentially go down the pit road at Phoenix through turns 1 and 2. Jordan Trask will have it as it switches back here through an S's section through turns 3 and 4. But it's going to be favoring Jake Ham. We're going to go 3 wide for a brief moment there. The 48 of Chris Nail thought he liked the outside. Backed out, couldn't make it work as it was still side by side for P2. Jordan Trask back to the inside. Ham drops the bumper to the rear of Trask, but it doesn't end up working, and that 79 gets clear for P2. Chris Nail will now look to challenge Jake Ham as Jordan Trask is second, and Joshua Jackson already out by 1.3 seconds here over the rest of your field down into turn 11 back onto the oval.
Yeah, that turn 11 is a tricky corner. That thing switches back 180 degrees to get onto the oval. Transition there is going to be really important all night long. Going to be a great place for these guys to pass, but you've got a long run on this oval portion of the track where you can lose some speed in that corner, and really it'll kill your lap time for almost 2 laps.
And going down into turn 1 here, you get about the highest speed we'll see MX-5s reach all season, going 116. Off into that really weird turn 1 entry there where you've got to be really careful to make it stick properly because you are basically driving on the NASCAR pit road as we're in a side-by-side battle for P7 back here. It's Alexander Sexauer going at it with Dave Calvert. Yeah, I think Sexauer maybe is going to get an iRacing black flag there for a corner cut, and it's Dave Calvert shooting it up the inside, dooring that car a little bit down here into the turn 7 complex. Yes, a furled black flag for Alexander Sexauer there. He's going to need to relinquish some time for a corner cut. Wesley Burke is now going to jump up to P7 around the inside of Dave Calvert, and he, after starting in P11, will be in pursuit of that 333 car. Wesley Burke did not take a practice lap, was a late joiner to the session here tonight, so we'll see what he can do in that 04.
Oh, he almost caused an accident there. I think he was waiting for the oval portion where he thinks he can mitigate some of the damage from this penalty, but he almost took out a couple cars there. I don't think anybody realized that was going to happen.
That's yeah, it is going to be a regular black flag now for Alexander Sexauer. He did not serve that penalty in time, and he'll have to come down this time and serve a penalty. So devastating for that 333 car early. Mike Swardson also with a black flag. Not sure what that's for, but he's going to have to serve that one as well as we got a battle up here for the lead starting to brew. Jordan Trask catching up to Joshua Jackson. Both of these drivers have won 2 races here in this series so far this season, and they are both looking for a third at the moment.
Yeah, this is a really tricky section of the track. These S's really fast track, and through that section you carry a lot of speed. You really have to be cognizant of the weight shift through those corners, and then getting into that tight turn 11 back onto the oval there.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a good place to pass, is down in that turn 1 area. Even though it's not a very tight corner, you've got so much straightaway, so much full throttle racing here before that, where if you're a good distance from that car in front of you, and if you have a good turn 11, you can get a ton of slipstream. I mean, we saw Trask pick up 2/10 there just through that big straight section there through NASCAR 3 and 4 and then the front straightaway. So that's a place where you can gain a lot of time, and it's clearly allowed Jordan Trask to close in here on Joshua Jackson because he is only 0.3 of a second back.
Oh yeah, that is a very, very tricky corner. It's almost more of a dogleg than it is a corner. Very similar to turn 1 at the Daytona road course, where you almost drag the brakes into that turn 1 before you actually fully commit to them. Try to get that car settled so you can get through that section, and it's a blind corner too. You're kind of almost turning right into the wall as you go through that section.
Daytona road course probably the best comparison here for this track in terms of a it's kind of like a mini Daytona road course in terms of it being a roval with some S's through the infield, a couple hairpins in there as well to keep you on your toes, and then that big sweeping turn 1 along with the flat unbroken stretch from about turns 3 and 4 back around to turn 1 here as Jackson's gotten to air out a little bit, but Jake Ham is trying to make a battle for P3.
He is right there.
Yeah, right into the bumper there of Chris Nail going down into the corner. Tries to get Nail a little bit loose.
Yep.
Maybe works there, but Chris Nail did a good job to stabilize that car, hold on to it, and prevent Jake Ham from succeeding at that move he was trying to pull in. We've already got some lap traffic here as Mike Swardson has come out of the pits after serving a black flag, and he's going to have some cars trying to get around him, so that could throw a wrench in some of the racing. A little bit further back as Jake Ham is going to maybe give another shot there to Chris Nail. He'll lay off for now, but we know that 21 car of Jake Ham is not afraid to use the bumper here tonight.
No, not at all. He and I have had our run-ins in some of the Oval Series before. He can be a very aggressive driver, and he is going to look going into turn 11, which is probably one of the best passing zones, but he's right there again with taking advantage of that slipstream. I'd look for a move here going into 1.
Yeah, Jake Ham is going to have that advantage of just being tucked right in behind Nail, and he'll be able to pull that car to the inside really whenever he wishes here in that 21. Let's see what he's going to do. He's going to pull right in behind. He'll take all the draft, scrapes the wall a little bit there. That could mitigate his run, and it looks like it did. Slow him up a little bit there. Problems for Jake Ham there after a little bit of a tap to the wall, and he will have to re-rack and try to build this stretch again. We get a little further back here. We've got some more racing down into this corner. This is Kevin Price in the 80, racing for 8th with Charles Abert in the 7.
Yeah, Price has been another one of our guys that has been consistently mid-pack, but he's done well in the points and better than I think he even expected to do coming into this series. I know he doesn't do a ton of road racing, so it's somewhat new for him, but pretty impressed with how consistent he's been and what he's been able to do in these cars that he's not super familiar with.
And it's getting close up here. Both of these top 2 battles. Jackson, though, with a good turn 11. Build a little bit more separation to Trask. And Nail was not really able to do that. Nail and Ham are going to come out of that corner basically equal, and that's going to allow Jake Ham to stay real close to the rear bumper of that 48 car of Chris Nail. And as we make our way through turns 3 and 4, let's see what Jake Ham can do. This is going to be his biggest chance if he wants to pull a move to the inside. And he's still just not quite close enough, not willing to send it. Maybe gonna try there mid-corner, but nope, doesn't work out. And Chris Nail doing a good job to maintain that advantage at the moment.
I'll tell you what, something that's really surprising to me is seeing Nail take that wide entry into that turn 1 section. Again, running this track earlier, one thing that you really notice is offline, as you see him take that corner a little bit wide, maybe open the door, let's see. I think Ham's going to have quite a run here, going down to towards turn 11, and he's got him clear. So, anyway, I was saying he's taking that corner really wide there, and that would be something of a surprise because it seems to get really dirty offline through that section and get really, really slippery.
We'll see if Chris Nail is able to catch back up here over the coming laps, because now it will switch back, and he will have that slipstream and that advantage, and we'll see if that's able to work out for him. Chris Nail, 2nd place finisher last week at Oschersleben. I'm going to find a way to work that word in now that I know how to say it properly.
Well, I think you're up to 10 or 12, so you've done good.
Night at 2nd. I'm at a lot here. I'm at like 3 tonight.
Don't worry, I've been keeping track.
Jake Ham is already starting to open up about a 1-second gap there to Chris Nail. Real good driving for him, so he is pulling away. I'm not sure if he's going to have anything for Jackson or Trask right now. I mean, we'll just have to watch the lap times and see how they develop over the next few laps. But last time around, Ham was not 1 second slower. He was half a second slower compared to Trask and Jackson. So we will see. Trask was 0.3 quicker than Jackson last time. It was 107.4 for Trask, 107.7 for Jackson, and 108.05 for Jake Ham.
Oh, Abert, I think, is around. Yep.
Yes, he is.
And I was just going to say that I was really impressed with how few mistakes we've seen. Again, we've talked at length about how hot and slick this track is tonight, and I've been really impressed with how few incidents we've seen where cars have gone around or anybody's lost it. But now he's going to have to get those tires cooled off because he's going to be fighting that car for the next lap and a half or so.
Yeah, it's a late summer afternoon here in Phoenix. I think it's a bit unrealistic that our weather temperature outside is only 90 degrees today for our track temp of only 105, because I feel like if we were here in real life, we'd have asphalt coming up from how hot it is.
I have never been. The closest I ever did was El Paso, and that was enough desert for me. It's weird. There's no trees.
That's been to Oklahoma Panhandle. That's about all I got for you. Jordan Trask is still steady back there, but we do have a battle brewing with Wesley Burke in the 04, Jamie Libke in the 16. Libke, like I said, great qualifying effort tonight, starting it up in 5th. Haven't seen her in the top 5 much this season, but she's running well right now. And then Wesley Burke in the 04, who started this race back in 11th, but is traditionally a faster car in Goat Locker Racing, is trying to reel her in.
Yeah, Libke's done pretty well through most of the racing we've seen this year as far as being consistent. Then she ends up seeming to have issues later on in the run, and that's really been unfortunate for her. I think she could be a lot higher up in the standings with some of the runs she has had. Again, not somebody that's got outright speed, but definitely consistent enough for the most part without those problems to be up in the top 10 or top 5 positions in points.
Wesley Burke is going to get that move done for P5, and now Jesse Fox in the 17 will be the next car in line in that Oreo car. He's a car we've seen a little bit further up the field in the top 5 much of the races he's ran here this season, so we know he's got the speed to move himself up. He was 4th in practice, but qualified in 7th, so he would like to get a couple spots back here if he can.
Oh, Libke sideways out of that corner. Really easy to do there. I think she's really feeling the heat from Fox. You know, you nailed it. Fox has been one of our cars that has had a lot of speed, but just can't put a whole race together almost all year long. Seems to find some sort of incident that hurts him, and you know, that's been unfortunate in that Oreo car as well, as Libke's going to get him back after he has some problems in turn 11.
Yeah, Jordan Fox just kind of, Jesse Fox, excuse me, just kind of clipped that apron there, and that completely lost him the time. That let Jamie Libke back through, and that will put him back to P7 for the time being, although I do not think that battle is over by any means here tonight at Phoenix.
Yeah, I think these guys will be
Jordan
going
Trask
at
has
it.
closed that gap a lot there from top 2. Check that one out. That gap was over a second. It's down to under half a second here. Jordan Trask 107.67 last time by. Joshua Jackson 107.925. So Trask is faster, and JKM kind of falling into a middle ground last lap where he's faster than Jackson, but not as fast as Trask at the moment.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what we see out of these top guys with the pit stops. We've seen pit strategy play a role in almost every race we've run this year. See who pits early, who decides to stay out. You spoke to the track temperature being a little bit lower in the sim than you kind of expect, but if it's anything like it was when I was practicing with these guys earlier, it is slippery out there. So it could be just the worn out asphalt. It could be, you know, it's Phoenix and it's dusty and dirty, but you know, a little bit surprised with the way it felt earlier that we have that low a temperature.
Whoa, Trask for the lead. He's going to spin it out in turn 1.
Oh, no.
Great save there to avoid losing too much time, but he got a little bit too aggressive, and he is going to drop about a second there to Joshua Jackson in that pursuit for the lead.
Not what he needed. Now he's going to be in a spot where he's going to have to take it easy for about half a lap to a lap and a half, get those tires back in a reasonable temperature zone where they want to grip up. He might have a real situation here with losing a little bit more time if he's not careful.
Yeah, and that is a problem for him. If we could get a replay, I mean, that was really close to him just having a full spin out. We're not going to get a replay. Technical issues there. You can thank our broadcasting software for that one. But yeah, that was a very near miss there for those two cars. That could have been disastrous.
Well,
here's
not
Jamie
if you're
Libke
JKM.
back to the point for P6 back here.
Oh, good.
Fox had a run there for a moment, got that car up the inside, but Libke got it right back as we enter turns 11 and 12, and she'll hold that lead. She's going to try to get away here, but does have the issue of just the draft that Fox is able to get, and so she won't make as much progress as she would like there.
Yeah, it'll be really curious to see what Fox does. He kind of breaks early there, and he gives her some room. But, you know, Fox is kind of crafty. He's going to probably be setting her up. You know, I think, again, with these MX-5s, you kind of want to think about when you're going to make a move about a lap to 2 laps before you actually make the move. Kind of find out where you're faster, where you can gain that advantage, and just set yourself up and pick where you want to have that happen. He is much tighter through that corner there. She drags the brake a little bit through the center. See where they're at coming down to 11 because that's going to be the next spot. I think Fox is just a little too far back to dive it down in there.
By the way, we are already about a quarter of the way through this race. It is going fast here tonight in the Goat Locker Racing MX-5 series at Phoenix Roval for this one, as we're getting a little bit of a oval vibes tonight. We're at an oval in spirit, you could say, as Jordan Trask, after having that moment, he already closed up 0.6 of a second there over the last lap, so he is moving.
That is impressive. I thought he'd be struggling with those tires a lot more than he seems to have. He got them settled down, and he is right there right now. And Jackson's saying, oh no, not again, as he needs to have as good a night as he can possibly have.
By the way, Wesley Burke is sneaky one of the fastest cars on track right now, but we can't figure out exactly how fast he's running because his internet keeps blinking in and out, so he's not registering proper lap times here. He's showing 10 seconds on my screen, which I don't believe is correct.
That's a heck of a lap. He needs to keep that up.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be laps ahead pretty quickly here if he got that going. Jordan Trask, though, he's got this going. We'll see if he tries another send into turn one. That send into turn one was what got him loose. He pulled a big move to get alongside and almost lost the car there with how hot the track is. This time faking a little bit to the outside as Jackson runs closer to the bottom. But it's a good defensive line there for Joshua Jackson, and he will keep that spot stable over Jordan Trask, who's going to have to find another way around. And he is all over the curves,
right there,
looking to do so. Going to be down to the outside there, and Jackson will hold him off once more.
Yeah, he looked, but Jackson really kind of anticipated that move and held that inside real defensive line, as you see him doing through this, I believe it's 9 and 10 complex as they run down to turn 11. So be interesting to see how close Trask is. If he is close enough, I think he's far enough back that Jackson's going to be all right. But again, getting off turn 11 with that slipstream, that is going to be a huge advantage if Trask can be better coming down this, I guess you would call it the super speedway section, oval section of this racetrack.
Yeah, he's just got to be very careful here because the absolute last thing he wants to do is get too aggressive and lose the car. But he's going to have the run here down the front straightaway. Jordan Trask back to the inside of Joshua Jackson here once again for the lead of the race. Jackson's led this whole time. It's a big dive in for Trask. And if he can make this stick, he should be able to get the lead here. Trask in the 79 with a great corner, and he will take P1 away for the first time tonight. It's a lead change.
Jackson took a really good line there trying to get the run off, and it looks like it worked out pretty good for him because he's going to be right there coming back into this complex. Trask a little bit sideways through that corner. Up on the curb, sliding that car sideways around here. Let's see what kind of a run Jackson gets coming down into 11 because he's right there.
We'll see. I think this is going to be a battle at Bruce at least until the first pit stop as Jackson is right up on the bumper. And now if he can get closer, he'll have the opportunity to do what Trask did to him last time and get that run down into turn one. This time, though, I just do not think that car is close enough. And so Joshua Jackson might have to wait and give it a minute and try it again here later on.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't let Trask run away from him, he should be in good shape here. He just needs to keep close to him and keep him honest. So let's see what kind of a line he takes through this complex here. As Trask braking a little bit earlier than I would think and kind of slides that car out to the right, but he's managing to able to get it, caught back up again. God, I can't talk this evening. And hold off that position for now. But I think Jackson, right now, I think I might actually rather be in second. Push that guy out ahead of you a little bit, make him use his stuff up, get to the pit stops, and just learn where you can make the move.
He's definitely going to be able to put the pressure on here as they make their way back onto that oval section of the racetrack. Yeah, a little bit of a wide run, but he's going to try and use that on the crossover here with a little bit of a shallow corner exit. Works out okay for him. All going to be relying on how much slipstream he gets down here.
Well, Trask pulls to the inside and see if when we come off this corner here, if he stays to the inside and keeps that real defensive line, making Jackson earn it around the outside. Jackson is right there. He thought about it.
He wanted it, but he couldn't quite get it done there.
Well, I think if he's smart, he knows he's got a little bit of racing left to go. So, maybe just sit back there and learn what you can, and maybe, stick with him, but save your stuff.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he doesn't seem to want to save his stuff right now. He seems to want
No.
to push the issue
Oh,
and get this one
there's
done.
Trask sideways and
And he just
almost
spun it
around.
around. Yeah, he's lost the lead there straight on a spin out.
Well,
So, unforced
that's-
error for Jordan Trask.
That's about the third lap in a row I've seen Trask take that corner almost dead sideways. And
Yeah.
you can only do that so many times. You're going to get that outside tire really hot, really angry, and it's going to come around on you. These MX-5s, you can slide them, but once you cross that line, it's really difficult to get them to come back.
Yeah, and, he did it
There it
right
is
there.
again.
Just went
Yep.
over that line, spun that car out, and well, that was the end of it.
We'll see if he's able to run him down again. How many times is he going to get to slide that car around with those tires still hanging in there?
That's a great question. We will have to find out here. That's going to be something to think about here. Jake Ham closing in on that battle, by the way, only 4 seconds back. He is moving. He's faster than Joshua Jackson, so he could play a role in this later on as well.
It'll be interesting to see what Jackson's lap times look like when he's not, offline and trying to do something crafty to get by somebody. So if he can settle in there, we might see his lap times pick back up. We'll have to keep an eye on it.
.38.46 left to go in this one, and yeah, Jake Ham working some speed. He was the fastest car on track last time around by just a little bit over the 04 of Wesley Burke, who's moving back there in P5. We'll see what Trask can do when he crosses the line this time. We'll see if he's able to get that gap back down and if he's able to recover after just an unforced error up there for the lead of the race that cost him that position and is going to set him entirely on the back foot here. He's going to cross the line there. Yeah, he's about 4/10 faster than Jackson, but Jake Ham is still quicker than both of them.
Well, Ham's biggest thing here is going to be getting around Trask without too much time wasted. If he gets held up and Jackson's able to pull that interval out, Ham's going to have his work cut out for him if he is able to get by Trask here. You see it again there. You're watching Trask through that corner. It just seems like his entry really upsets the rear end of that car. And I don't know if he's on the brakes just a little bit too late, or maybe it's a shifting where he's shifting and kind of getting a little bit of wheel hop there. But it seems like that corner, yet again, he is just way sideways, more so than he should be, which allowed Ham to close up that gap even more.
And this is going to come down to the wire here for Jordan Trask and Jake Ham, as that car has really made some progress there in that 21. So look a little bit further in the field. Jamie Libke, Jesse Fox. This battle has been going on and off for about 10 minutes now, with Libke and Fox trading P6 back and forth. Still yet to see who's going to hold on to it permanently. Libke is a little bit of an advantage right there, and Fox was actually running the apron for a second, so he's trying a bit of a unique line to try and get himself some space.
I feel like we might have missed a little something there. If you look at the rear bumper of Libke's car and the front bumper of Fox's car, I wonder if they've had some close moments, so to speak.
Yeah, I would not be surprised with how the racing in this battle has been for a while now between these two. Trask and Ham are going to do battle back here for P2, and Jake Ham is right there. That car, fastest car on the track by a large amount last time around. Actually, I take that back. Alexander Sexauer was faster, but that was because he just pit and he's 2 laps down. Jake Ham, of the cars who are 21 laps into this tire run now, fastest car on track, and he is going to get the slipstream on Jordan Trask. This is going to be a move for P2 if he can make it work. Doing that thing again where he just tries to bump Trask, maybe get his braking marker off into the corner, but it doesn't work. Trask stays stoic, and he will hold on to P2.
Trask looks like he's really fighting that car now, though. Watching his entry into turn 1 and 2 there.
It was not great for him there, but he is still holding on pretty decently, and he is still faster than Joshua Jackson. He just needs to be faster than Jake Ham, and right now he really has not been.
No, Ham just needs an opportunity here, and he might be close enough this time to make a look, but no. A little bit wider line. He's going to try and get the run off the corner. Again, he hangs right there with Trass. Let's see what he's able to do with this slipstream and see what they look like going into one again.
Jackson certainly has the advantage right now over these two cars, and we'll see if this battle maybe helps Jackson out and can keep him up there at the front of the field, as Jake Ham, once again, not really making the move. I wonder if he's trying to force Trass into making a mistake versus trying something crazy and pulling a lunge into turn one, because, I mean, he clearly has the speed to be able to pull a lunge into turn one if he wants to. He just hasn't done it yet, and Trask got loose again there. Another mistake for that 79. One more bigger one of those, and Jake Ham could have the spot with little effort.
Yeah, I'm sure Ham sees that from where he's sitting, and he's maybe wondering if he's going to get by him just based on a mistake. But, you know, the real fear there, again, you said it, Jackson just ran a really good lap time. If Jackson's able to run away, that's probably not the right strategy here.
Well, here we go again, where Jake Ham, is going to be right on that back bumper once again, as he has been for a while now behind the wheel of that 21 car. It's a big 46 on the side, but it is actually the number 21 on our timing tower. And once again, he'll have the advantage. It's all about what can he do with it down here into turn one, right on the bumper there of Jordan Trask. Let's see how it goes down into the corner. Still can't do it.
Again, I wonder if that's exactly what he's doing, because you see him give him a shove, and then he's on the brakes just a touch earlier, kind of giving himself some space there, hoping, like you said, maybe make Trask overdrive that corner, miss his braking point. You know, he's got to be seeing Trask fight the rear end of that car. But, you know, again, with regards to that, do you want to waste this much time, you know, to Jackson? Because Jackson's just going to be gone.
Yeah, Jackson has been able to kind of manage this gap here just because of these two. Oh, there's a bumper from Ham. He almost spins Trask out, sends him way offline, but Jake Ham had to back out as a result, and he's not able to take advantage at all.
Somebody's not too happy in the driver chat, it might sound like.
I doubt it. I doubt either of those cars are particularly happy right now.
But Jackson's loving this. We talked about him needing a really good points tonight. You don't get any better than first, so.
Nope. It has been amazing right now for that 73 car of Jackson, and he is doing a good job to hold that lead over the 79 of Trask at the moment. And with what happened on that last lap, he's only been able to pull out a bigger advantage. He's not, I mean, I'd say in terms of pure pace, he's maybe the fourth fastest car, although might have to up that to third. Well, no, Wesley Burke has pulled it into the pit, so that was one of our fastest cars. He's making a pit stop here, so is Jesse Fox's. Yeah, problems for Jake Ham there again. It is getting slick out here, although he didn't lose too much time with it. Charles Abrams in the pits as well, so we got 3 cars in.
Ham managed to gather that car up quick, fast, and in a hurry, and he is definitely closing that gap again on Trask, even with that problem. So it looks like everybody's kind of coming at the same time here for pit service.
Yeah, a lot of cars a little deeper in the field making that move down pit road here, including cars who were 7th, 8th, and 9th on the racetrack. And then Jordan Trask is going to come into the pits right here. So we got Jordan Trask in, along with Matt Wiebers, who is almost a lap down. And should mention, Sex Hour and Kevin Price came in 7 laps ago, so they're on a very early pit strategy.
Price has been really crafty with his pit strategy in just about every series this year. Had a good finish at Watkins Glen in one of the stock car series earlier by stretching that fuel mileage and went the entire race without stopping.
You know, what's been very good for Jordan Trask all season, he would love to be able to get his 3rd win here tonight, and I really have no idea how this is going to play out, because Jackson's not the fastest car, but he's been the most consistent car. Ham and Nail and Trask have all made mistakes, and that has just allowed Jackson to build out a lead. Trask is going to be on the undercut here by at least a lap, so I'm not sure how that's going to work into things. We'll have to find out. he's going to come out in front. Joshua Jackson is into the pits. So a one lap undercut there for Trask. JKM will stay out, and he is into the wall as he is. I'm not really sure what he's doing. It looked like he was attempting to give a push into the corner to the 04 of Wesley Burke, who is both not on the same pit strategy and a lap down. So I'm not sure what the vibe was there, but ended up with JKM in the wall.
That's a one way you can lose this race really easy.
Gotta
Going to
stay
be very
calm.
difficult to win. Yeah, for sure, for sure. He's had the speed. He just needs to go out there and put some clean laps together.
Yep, we are halfway through this one here already, so not a lot of time left if you are one of these cars who have kind of been stuck back in this third or fourth range to get your way up to JKM or Chris Nail up at this front of this field, or Joshua Jackson once this cycle's around. My brain is just reading off the top two, forgetting that we're in the middle of a pit cycle at the moment. But Joshua Jackson will be the car to beat once this all gets back around, and Bill Molfeld is going to be in the pits here as well. Oh, no, he isn't in the pits. He just had a... Well, I'm not sure what happened to Bill Molfeld, but he kind of stopped the car in the middle of the back straightaway and then sped it up and then pulled into the pits. So he might have had a corner cut there that he needed to serve before he could bring that car down, but now he will bring it down. So Bill Molfeld in from P8, and your top four are the only cars who have not come down yet. It's Ham, it's Nail, it's Libke, and it's Dave Calvert. When they cycle out, by the way, Jordan Trask 5 seconds behind Joshua Jackson.
Well, Jackson's liking that, that's for sure. I don't know if he's got that kind of timing and scoring, but... These guys are having to work through a lot of lap traffic, too, which is going to really maybe shuffle things up. If Jackson's able to be out there, as you just saw, I believe that was Trask navigating some lap traffic. Right now, these guys need to have really good laps. Take advantage of those fresh tires.
That they do. And with 28 minutes left to go in this one, you've really got to be consistent, because if you have a mistake like we've seen Jordan Trask have, like we've seen Chris Nail have, later in this race you have that mistake, the harder it's going to be to recover. So you've got to be locked in. You've got to be steady with it. JKM is running some pretty good lap times for having not pit yet. He's remarkably equal to some of these cars that have. Only about 4/10 off only about 2.5 tenths off Jordan Trask last time around. That time updated as Trask crossed the line. So pretty good running right now for JKM up there.
Yeah, if he can continue that, maybe go long and then take advantage of the tire advantage on the back end. Maybe that's what he's thinking.
Could be the strategy here for him. He's getting some clean air with the exception of Wesley Burke up in front of him, so that could be helping.
Yeah, again, we're seeing pit stops play an integral part in the race. Seeing people pit short, undercut, go long. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's definitely shuffled up some of our races earlier this season.
JKM right now is going to be the one in pursuit of Wesley Burke up here. I think Burke is finally... He's in a really annoying position for JKM, because JKM is kind of stuck about half a second behind him, which isn't enough to where you can put a move and pass that car, but it's also enough that it's hurting the air on your car. So it's a weird position to be in for JKM. He probably is getting a little slipstream off that car on the straightaways, but not a ton because he's not that close. So weird position between JKM and that lap car of Wesley Burke at the moment. Wesley Burke is running faster, but he's only running a little bit faster, so not really able to get away. Everybody's spread out here. I think our closest battle on track is 6 seconds for position. So we're kind of just vibing, everybody is right now. Trying to run consistent laps, trying to not make mistakes and not get yourself behind. Although, if I'm JKM, I'm maybe contemplating a pit stop, because Josh Jackson was 7/10 quicker last time around.
Oh yeah, when the interval starts to get like that, you definitely want to start thinking about coming. At that point, you're just playing a losing game. You can't make up that kind of time.
He'll stay out again. Keeping it on the racetrack is JKM. We'll see if anybody else brings it down. Chris Nail, Libke, Calvert. Chris Nail will come down here from P2, so that car is in. He's going to come out in a position I don't think he wants to be in, because he was not running great lap times prior to that. And there were some cars about a second faster than Chris Nail, so he's not going to come out where he wants to be on the racetrack, and definitely not where he wants to be if he wants any hope of winning a championship by the end of this thing. Jamie Libke will stay out, and then we've got another 10 or so seconds to see what the 90 of Dave Calvert does. Dave Calvert, well, he's having a moment trying to get into pit road, but he will be able to bring that car down pit road smoothly, and that will be another pit stop. So it's just Jake Ham and Jamie Libke still out on the racetrack with 25 minutes to go, having not made a pit stop.
This is going to be really interesting. We're going to have to watch how much faster Jackson is than Ham on average. Maybe he just had a really good lap that lap, but if it starts to be half a second or more every lap, then Ham is just killing himself by staying out. He needs to come down pit road.
And Jake Ham will come in now, so that 21 car is in the pits. And the question is going to be, where does he cycle out of everything in relation to Jackson, to Trask, even to Chris Nail or Wesley Burke back here? By the way, I should mention, Wesley Burke had a slow pit stop. I think he was fixing damage or something. He was about 6 seconds slower, so that's thrown that 04 car off pretty heavily. Jamie Libke in as well here, so that will complete our pit cycle. Yeah, Jamie Libke, black flag entering the pits there.
Oh, no.
I'm going to go back and see what that was for.
Probably too fast entering.
Speeding. I think that was going to be a speeding there for Jamie Libke on pit road.
All right, so we see Jackson now back to the lead. Ham off pit road now.
And we'll see where Jake Ham blends in. He'll blend in behind Jackson, behind Trask, but only about half a second behind Trask. He's going to lose some time here as he tries to warm up these tires, but well within striking distance. Libke's going to come out pretty deep in the field, and that black flag pit road speed limit is 30. She came in going about 33, 34 there, so she will have a penalty to serve, and that will hold her up there in that 16 for about 40 seconds. So that'll end her chances of a top 5 tonight, which is unfortunate.
Watching this interval here on the track map, I don't know if Ham really hurt himself near as bad as we think. If he can get past second place there and set sail, he might, with that tire advantage, be able to make up that time. I mean, he's coming off 4 now as the leader. Jackson's just now going into turn 1, so he's really not that far back. Trask is going to be hard to get around, though.
Separating those two cars. Yeah, Trask has been difficult. I think Jake Ham is going to be maybe a little more willing to try to force the issue here than he was earlier, especially with the fact that he now has the tire advantage, and I think he was already quicker before the pit stop, so he's not going to be hanging out back there. Oh, disconnect potentially for Jordan Trask. He comes back in there, but that is scary for him to have those internet issues here this late in a race where he's running in second.
He doesn't need that. We've seen that happen to some folks already this season. And that'll really tick you off really fast.
Yeah, well, you got to be very careful about not having that issue again. Not much you can really do about it, but you've got to be careful about it. Maybe yell at the router until it starts listening to you.
That's one strategy.
Could work. Jake Ham, not got those tires up to heat yet, I think. He's still pretty consistent with Trask. 1.5 back. We'll see what they do at the line this time. Trask with a 107.36, Ham with a 107.606, and Joshua Jackson also with a 107.3. So Jackson and Trask about equal. Jake Ham on the 6-lap newer tires. Still not quite up to speed there. He's going to go around in turn 1.
Oh, that's
and
not
that'll be it for Jake Ham's
Ham.
chances of winning this race. It's like Attorneys General, Jake Ham.
Perfect. I like it. He just earned a new nickname.
He's going to get in a battle here afterwards because he's spun out and gone right to the front bumper of Chris Nail. But there you go. Pushed it too hard in turn 1 trying to catch up, and he will not win this race tonight. Too little time for him to get his way back up there.
Well, if you're Jackson, you love that because he was the only guy on a different tire strategy that maybe had the speed to get up there. It really looked the way that interval was, especially watching it on the track map, that if Ham didn't have any problems and was able to start laying down some quick laps, he was going to catch our leader, but Jackson loving that.
Chris Nail is going to have maybe the move here for P3 if he can play his cards right, as he is right behind Jake Ham and likely without tires that have a spin on them. So, I mean, these two cars are basically equal on tire strategy before that. Jake Ham trying to break the toe there, running almost an Indy 500 line down that front straightaway here at the Phoenix Roval. Oh, and Jake Ham's around again in turn 1.
He sends it again.
Exact same spot. And it's gone from bad to worse to maybe worst tonight for Jake Ham, as Wesley Burke is going to get around there, and you've got the lap car of Bill Mulfeld going through as well. So that'll, well, he already lost his chances of winning. I think that'll take away his chances of bringing home a podium tonight.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty safe bet, unfortunately.
Well, closest battle on track is 4 seconds right now, and it is Jake Ham to Wesley Burke. So right now we are lap time watching. Joshua Jackson ran really fast, a 107.2 last time, and that was 7/10 quicker than what Jordan Trask ran. So that gap getting extended with some good laps from Joshua Jackson. Oh, well, that last one wasn't so great there as he crossed the line. It was a 108.1. Trask will be, oh no, Trask is still slower because Trask also had a bad lap. He ran a 108.5. So Joshua Jackson has the advantage right now. Second fastest car on track. Wesley Burke has the speed, but he needs to find about 24 more seconds, which I don't think he's going to be able to do. Could still get a podium, though.
Not.
He's faster than Chris Nail.
Well, you know, again, we've seen these guys make mistakes all night long. I mean, this race isn't over till it's over. So, you know, you see Jackson out there running really good lap times. It only takes maybe a lap car, or, you know, you try to squeak it out, or you're distracted by your cat. Something happens, and you miss a corner, and, you know, you loop it. You could give all that time right back. So, you know, these guys are going to have to be really cognizant of staying consistent and just running clean laps. And you may not want to run the fastest lap. Just run some clean laps at this point with that kind of an interval.
That is for sure here for the 04 of Wesley Burke, who is pretty consistent here right now in P4. I think his real goal is just going to be getting on a podium tonight. I think this is his first start of the season here in the MX-5. So he will definitely want to just get himself a podium tonight if he can. I think that would be a good start to his running in this series. We'll track the lap times as they cross. Tell you how good he's doing, how much more he needs to pick up. Chris Nail, really good lap last time around. Wesley Burke, also a really good time. They were basically dead even. Wesley Burke was 0.006 of a second quicker, so negligible amount. And Jordan Trask ran about the same lap time, but he did go 0.4 up on Joshua Jackson. So a good lap for the 79 car, doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, if he can consistently run 0.4 quicker, I think that it's within reason to say that he's going to be on Jackson's back bumper. But then you wonder, too, again, we talk about it, Jackson doesn't have to push this car. He's got a 7-second gap. He can kind of lay off, maybe save some tire. You know, you don't want to walk that interval all the way down to nothing, but, you know, just kind of go for a Sunday drive there and kill some clock.
Yeah, time is really starting to run down here, so if you can just run good laps, you could, you know.
I think the thing that's really tricky about this place is this is a short lap. You know, 107s are really, I think, one of the shortest laps we've run all season. So, and it's a fast track. So these guys are going to have probably a higher lap count than most of the races that we've had so far.
So there you go. That is Jordan Trask making his way around the lap car there. And Wesley Burke is around. So this could actually create a little bit of a battle here for P4 as Jake Ham is going to get around that car. There you go. You got to be consistent. I just said it. Wesley Burke can't make a mistake, and there he goes and makes a mistake. Turn 1 has been a problem corner all night long.
Well, at least they tightened it up a little bit so that our folks at home don't have to listen to us talk about pizza rolls and how you pronounce Oshlerbin?
Oschersleben.
See? There it is. That's 13.
Well, here's Wesley Burke back to the point now on Jake Ham. He's going to have the outside here into this hairpin, but maybe he could pull a switchback, maybe a crossover. We'll see what the strategy is here for Wesley Burke. Running it wide, switching it back to the inside, looking for that inside on Jake Ham. Can't quite get it. He's going to have the advantage here, and he'll be able to pull down to the inside before the time we get to NASCAR 3 and 4. So he is moving right now, is Wesley Burke. And Jake Ham is going to be stuck back there, and he'll go back to P5 with that lap car of Bill Mulfeld right behind him. Technically, on this older version of the track, that is NASCAR 3 and 4. The start-finish line has moved in real life, but on this older version with the Roval, it hasn't. So there you go.
The old heads will remember that, but some of these younger guys, it's been quite a while since they made that shift. So it's kind of neat seeing the old Phoenix layout. I haven't seen it in quite a bit.
Pretty sure Wesley Burke was in diapers last time they had the start-finish line there.
Probably so.
Whoa, almost lost it again there. Did that 04 car. Got really loose. His tires must be on fire. He is struggling.
Well, Jake Ham likes that, so he'll be not quite close enough to make a run going into 11. Let's see what he does here. Oh, wow, okay. He caught up real fast. I don't know if he's later on the brakes or just Burke is struggling that much on those tires as he decides to go into the nether region for a little minute there.
I mean, we didn't see it right there, but we know Jake Ham is very willing to get that bumper out and use it. He's done it a couple times already tonight, and as Wesley Burke disconnecting again. This is going to be scary. Oh, Jake Ham pops up right outside of him. This is going to be interesting to see how this shakes out down into turn 1. Wesley Burke, he's slipping, he's sliding, but he's going to get the position for now, and he'll stay P4.
Well, that was a tactical move there, using his his active camouflage going into turn 1. Got to keep Ham guessing.
You can't pass what you can't see.
I heard that once or twice. Oh boy, Ham sends it and almost makes contact with Burke there. You think Ham was watching Days of Thunder before this, and then, you know, perhaps he's going to use a little Days of Thunder?
Yeah, he's
strategy.
It's not
here.
the Ricky Bobby movie. I'm blanking on who the guy is in Days of Thunder.
Cole Trickle.
Cole Trickle, that's who it is.
Sky, you're showing your age a little bit.
Well, I've seen Talladega Nights plenty of times, but I don't think I've actually seen Days of Thunder.
Oh no. Well, now you have some homework.
Now I do. As we're going to get some Indy 500 going once again here with Burke and Ham swerving down that front straightaway, trying to break the toe. I think really whoever blinks first in turn 1 and makes a mistake is going to be the loser of this battle, because we've seen problems in turn 1 for both of these drivers multiple times tonight, so they've got to be able to play it cool and not make a mistake here. Oh, Alexander Sexauer is around in turn 10.
Well, I think if you're Burke and you know, you've got Ham there. Ham at this point knows he probably doesn't have a shot at a podium. He definitely isn't going to win. But, you know, at this point it's bragging rights. You know, he wants to go out here and show everybody that he can, you know, get it done, even though he's made a mistake. And Burke kind of in the same boat, especially having not very many starts in the MX-5 and having such a great run tonight. So, be interesting to see. But these guys keep swerving around on the straights. They're going to end up taking each other out. I don't know if I want to be Bill Mulfeld there with my nose right in it.
We're 4/5 of this way down, 1/5 left to go for Joshua Jackson up in front of your field. But our eyes are turned a little bit deeper right now to P4 with Wesley Burke and Jake Ham. And Jake Ham will take a peek up the inside. He's going to get loose. We'll see if he can actually make it work here all the way down on the inside. And he's going to pull that move off. Power move, Jake Ham back to P4.
That was pretty impressive. They managed to do that without anybody losing it and getting into one another, but I don't think Burke is going to go quiet into that dark night here, so. Oh! Ham in there, make contact. Ham gets around. I think Burke did him a favor and kind of saved that car for him.
Yeah.
Curious to see who has any damage from this, but now we're right back at it with 11 minutes to go.
And this battle that was already pretty intense is going to be even crazier now because both of these cars have just had an opportunity to maybe make contact, maybe get a little angry at each other, and we'll see how this shakes out over the next 11 minutes because I do not think we're going to see any separation unless one of these cars does what Jake Ham almost did there and completely spins it out and finds himself out of this battle. And even if that does happen, that still doesn't mean the battle is over, as we've seen so far tonight, as Jake Ham will now pounce that car to the outside. Whoa, he's sliding it big time down into there.
Boy.
Twice, they're both slipping
Burke.
and sliding. Burke's almost around as well. Man, these tires must feel like the surface of the sun right now.
Oh yeah, they are hateful, but it's great to watch. I'm here for it.
This is absolutely wild. Oh, Wesley Burke having some problems again there as he ramps the curb a little bit.
That's about the 4th or 5th, and I'm counting on my fingers because, you know, I'm a cop and that's what I got to do. So he's locked that right front up about 4 or 5 times tonight, getting so hot into that corner. Oh,
Jake
there's
came in
some
the bumper.
contact.
The amount of contact we've had, you might run out of fingers here in a moment because this has gotten absolutely crazy over these last 10 minutes between Ham and Burke.
Well, you were just doing fractions earlier, and I lost you completely. I didn't have enough toes.
Jake Ham is now going to take a peek to the inside. Is he going to maybe get into the quarter panel there? No, he'll drop that car down with 10 minutes to go. And it'll be Jake Ham to the inside on Wesley Burke down into turns 1 and 2. Jake Ham running through the pit stalls there as he tries to make it work. And Wesley Burke with a crossover here for P4. This battle will not die as we're still side by side here down into turn 4 and 5. Furled black flag for Joshua Jackson up front, so he's going to lose some speed, but that won't matter too much. He's still ahead by 6 seconds. And Burke is going to maybe cut a corner there as he is all in pursuit of Jake Ham.
That's funny. As hard as he's pushing it, that's the best he's been through those 2 corners in the last 3 laps. Maybe taking a little bit different line there just because he had to, but might want to remember that. And I don't know, Bill Mulfeld, he is right there, even though he's a lap down. I'd be trying to save my stuff and not get or want to get any part of these two.
Yeah, time is running out here, so as this clock continues to trickle towards 0, you are going to see more and more chaos here in this battle as these two drivers get more and more desperate for P4 and some extra points here coming down to the end of this one. Wesley Burke, Jake Ham, 2 drivers who aren't running for a championship this season, aren't running for a podium right now, and yet are racing like their lives are on the line for P4. And we very much appreciate it right now because this has been a wild one.
Oh, yeah, we're not talking about pizza rolls. We got something way better to talk about here. So, you know, Burke right there on his back bumper. I don't know if these guys are just driving angry with each other or they're just having a lot of fun, but I guess...
Oh, there goes Jake Ham.
Ham is around. Oh... Now what are we going to watch?
I'd say this battle is over, but last time I said the battle was over, Wesley Burke spun out, and oh, Jake Ham is disconnected, so maybe the battle is over now. He is called in tonight.
Well, that's disappointing.
Jake, you've broken our hearts.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get in
Jake.
soapbox and climb all over him for that, because that was a lot of fun there for about 10 minutes.
I was going to say, well... I think you're set at about 7 fingers there on spins between those two. That was wild.
Oh, yeah.
Jamie Libke is maybe the closest battle on track right now as she is 1.7 behind Charles Abert for P9, which will be P8 once they pass where Jake Ham's Ghost sits through turn 7.
I think that running real long there kind of hurt Jamie because, I mean, she's up to 9th, and she was up around 5th or 6th there for quite a bit, running really well.
She did run the fastest lap on track last time around, so.
Oh, okay.
She does definitely have potential to get Abert, but I don't think she's going to get up to like P5 where she was running. What really hurt her was the black flag. That was what
I
cost her
forgot
about 40
that.
seconds there and took her out of the mix.
Not only do I count on my fingers, but I need Post-it notes.
So we got well, this is going to be it because Charles Abert is just pulled to the inside there, and he's going to let Jamie Libke by. So that was quick.
Okay.
We'll see if
these guys didn't get the memo that
happen.
they have a very high standard to live up to now after the last 10 minutes.
Well, bad lap for Joshua Jackson last time has cut that gap to Jordan Trask down to 3.3 seconds.
I just noticed that.
So
that was almost a 6-second gap at one point.
That was like a 7 or 8 second gap at one point.
What's Trask like? I think was just a lap difference on tires.
Trask was 1.5 quicker last time. He was a second and a half quicker. He has 1 lap older tires. But yeah, okay. Jackson just ran a bad lap, and Trask was able to pull up 1.5 seconds. Jackson did. I don't know if he dealt with any lap traffic that last lap. He is right now, as he's got Matt Wiebers up in front of him. Sexauer, Dave Calvert, who are now a lap down. 3 laps for Sexauer, 1 for Calvert, or a little further back in that mix as Well, Jackson is going to get a little bit of slipstream here from Matt Wiebers, which could help him, although he is going to get around
like
Wiebers
Wiebers.
here now.
Yeah, he moves over.
Trask was a 10th slower last time around, so it was a good lap for the 73 of Joshua Jackson.
Well, when you don't have any cautions, you need something to keep it exciting.
Well, we've got a 3-second gap there, and then, well, it's still 1.7 because Libke is not completely pulled away from Abert yet.
It still looks like Trask is bringing that interval down.
He
I think
is closer
he's close
now again.
Yeah.
Although, not a great corner in turn 11 there could set him back, although I keep saying although, he is going to get the draft from Matt Wiebers here a little bit, which could help him down this straightaway. We'll see. He is a little bit faster. The question is it too little too late for the driver of that 79 car right now? It is. Everyone behind him is basically set because it's about 9 seconds from Nail to Trask, 17 from Burke to Nail, 16 from Fox to Burke, and 20 from Price to Fox, and then another 11 from Calvert to Price at the moment. So all eyes on the top two. Jordan Trask was the fastest car on track last time around, and he was almost a second faster than Joshua Jackson. So if he can keep that pace of being a second faster, we might see something, but Jackson needs to keep running good laps here.
Wait, I figure 3, maybe 4 laps to go before we see the white flag?
Yeah, I'm seeing about 4 here on my scoring app. That historically is inaccurate, but it does seem to be about 4, and then the white flag will come to maybe 5 in total. Here, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, if there's one thing I know
laps.
is the people watching at home want to have some hope. They want a battle here.
I have some hope. I want to have some hope. So I want Jordan Trask to close this one in.
I do too. And I mean, he's right there. It seems like he's hovering around that 3-second interval mark. He just, I don't know. He seemed to gain a bit there, and then through the oval section, it looks like he lost about 2.5 tenths. But again, Jackson's going to have to maneuver around some lap traffic, so let's see what happens as he comes up on Kevin Price.
As last time around, Trask was a little bit slower. It was back to being a really good lap for Joshua Jackson. That is, Dave Calvert around here. This was for, he was running P7 at the time, and looks like he actually clipped the inside wall there. Our first car really properly wrecking it into the wall today is Dave Calvert with 3 minutes left to go in this race, just looping it around in turn 1. There you go, hitting the end of that wall.
Well, you know, maybe he saw earlier in, 2 races ago, we had the car with no front bumper, the running fast in the lap times. So maybe he's, just throwing a Hail Mary here.
Yeah, he's got 7 seconds to go now to Charles Abert because he lost that spot as a result of that spin. And, well, Trask is still unfortunately about dead even here with Joshua Jackson. So,
yeah.
We'll see. It's going to take a miracle, or it's going to take a very bad lap from Jackson. Trask was 2 tenths quicker last time, but he's going to need a little bit more than 2 tenths quicker as we are
if Kevin Price
rapidly
wants
coming
to
down
get
to the end of this one. I think we're 3 to go.
Yeah, if Kevin Price wants to get racy and hold up Jackson, which, really Kevin's not that kind of guy, but maybe, for TV purposes, he'll help us out a little bit here. If he wants the check to clear, and he'll move over.
And there you go.
Shame on him. But anyway, because that's down now to about 2.5 seconds.
It did a little bit, but again, I think Trask is the faster car right now. I think he's been the faster car for a lot of this race, honestly, but it is just too little too late right now for Jordan Trask.
And you said Trask does not have a win yet this season. I believe he has several.
I believe he does. He doesn't. I think it's Chris Nail who doesn't have.
Chris Nail. Okay.
We'll fact check on that here with a minute left to go, as we will take the 2 to go this time. It looks like we hit that white flag with about 4 or 5 seconds left on the clock.
Okay.
Yes, Trask has 2 wins, 4 podiums. It is Chris Nail who is sitting on 5 podiums, no wins. I think he might take that to 6 podiums and no wins tonight. So he'll have one more chance to get up on the top step next week, as he sits in a pretty comfortable 3rd place right now. Trask, once again, faster last time by 4 tenths of a second. He is closing in Is it too little too late?
Yeah, I think definitely it is. I mean, he's going to have to deal with, Kevin Price, unless he catches him in a very, very good spot. He'll probably lose just a little bit of time, no matter what. But, again, you never say never. Jackson could send it too much. He maybe sees that relative time that Trask is down now under 2 seconds. Maybe he sends it hot into turn 1. That's very easy to do here. We've seen it happen all night long, so
we'll see. They do have that lap car in the way of Kevin Price, who not sure what role he's going to play. Trask was 0.8 of a second faster last time around, so he is all in to try to get the spot. And it's a great turn 1 there for Trask that he is going to lose a lot of the time on exit, though. So it was down to 1.2 mid-corner, now back up to 1.8 as he exits the corner.
Trask just has to be careful here. He's being really aggressive on these curbs. I think he's trying to get around Kevin. Kevin maybe not being really cognizant of what's going on as he does get out of the way. But, as we're coming down to this turn 11 section, I don't think Trask is going to have any time at all unless Jackson really flubs this one. Oh, and he gets hit by Kevin Price.
And he's still sliding, and that will be the end of Jordan Trask's hopes. So as we make our way through NASCAR 3 and 4, turns 12 and 11 here tonight on the white flag lap, it will be the 73 of Joshua Jackson bringing it home for his 3rd win of the season in the Goat Locker Racing MX-5 Summer Series.
He's had a heck of a year, even though he's had some adversity. I think if he doesn't have the problems he had the last couple races, he's probably got 4 or 5 wins this season. He's been quick.
He has been very good all race long. But yeah, like you said, just problems over the last 2 races. They've put him back to 3rd in points. We'll see if he's able to get back up to P2. But it was your top 3 in points on the top 3 steps of the podium tonight with Trask and Nail there. Wesley Burke will cross the line in P4, and it looks like it will be Jesse Fox coming around here to take P5. That was it's like a battle for position there as we crossed the line. It was Bill Mulfeld stealing P9 there right at the very end over Dave Calvert.
And look at Fox worked his way back up into 5th position here tonight. Great run by Wesley Burke. Kevin Price, even though he was a lap down and almost played super spoiler there on Mr. Trask, he ends up in 6th position, which is pretty impressive, and Jamie Lipke up to 7th.
Joshua Jackson will burn it down. We'll get results and interviews with your top 3 after a quick break. Stay tuned here on V-Speed. We are back here on V-Speed with your results from the Goat Locker Racing MX-5 Summer Series, and it was Joshua Jackson grabbing the win tonight over Jordan Trask, Chris Nail, Wesley Burke, Jesse Fox, your last car on the lead lap, Kevin Price, Jamie Lipke, Charles Abert, who has just crossed the line backwards with a blown engine in real time, so not sure what he was doing there. Bill Mulfeld 9th, Dave Calvert 10th, Matt Wiebers, Alexander Sexauer 11th and 12th, J.K.M. Mike Swartz in your DNFs tonight. We'll get straight into interviews, and we'll pull into the booth your race winner tonight, Joshua Jackson. Joshua, how you doing?
Doing great now.
Well, you got the win tonight. Had some problems the last 2 weeks, but you got it done. How's it feel?
Great, especially after having the hardware failures that I did these last 2 weeks. So it feels good to get a win. It just feels good to be back in the rig and be able to do something, you know.
Yeah, and you had some great battles tonight. I mean, you were kind of consistent there over the last part of the race, but what was it like over those last 10 or so laps watching Jordan Trask slowly close in? Were you concerned that he might get you at all?
Was because lap traffic started to be an issue there at the end, so I knew I had a nice comfortable lead, but every time we caught up to lap traffic, that gap started dwindling little by little. So I was just hoping I could get a little bit of clean air at the final couple laps, that way I can, you know, hold that gap off.
This is a pretty unique track. We haven't ran anything like a Roval this season. What was your experience with it?
Hot. The whole track was hot. It was slippery as hell. It's just it's a completely different track than anything I've ever ran. So, but it was fun though.
All right, who do you have to thank tonight?
Hold up, I don't have it up here yet. Lincoln Tech, Save 22, MK Fire Design, Exact Graphics, Indiana Apartment Veteran Affairs, InVets, ATYL, and all my friends and family that watch.
All right, congrats on the win tonight, Joshua Jackson.
Appreciate it.
We will send it over to Daniel Parks, who is standing by with our second place finisher tonight, Jordan Trask.
Jordan Trask, I think we have a chair up here in the booth with your name on it this year. How was that one? Besides hot, slick, and all over the place.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I definitely figured that one out getting towards the second run, and I was really putting down some good lap times consistently there. Just didn't quite have enough time there at the end. Joshua ran a really good race, and unfortunately I spun myself a little earlier in the race to give up that lead, and I never just quite had enough time to get it back.
Well, we were watching the lap times, and we were watching that interval there, and it just ran out of time, it looked like. It looked like you were coming. How did you feel like this track was as far as an experience? You know, most people don't run here very often. I don't know if you've seen this place a lot or this was one of your first times here.
Yeah, I didn't know this actually existed, but I was able to run the whole practice session today and get some laps in, and actually I really liked it in the MX-5. I thought that was a lot of fun. It's one of my that's some of the most fun I've had on a track in the MX-5 so far this season, and I might be holding a unique opinion there, but I enjoyed it.
Well, hey, with a second place again, you know, you've been in the booth a lot this season. You're a points leader going into the final race. How do you feel about that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know how close it is, but I'm just every time I'm just trying to get to the finish, and every once in a while I'll get loose or spin myself, but I always just try to do my best to get back going and be consistent. And most of these tracks, I'm just trying to learn and get better, and I know I'm not always the fastest, but just getting to the finish is what I'm always trying to do.
Well, you're knocking it out of the park so far. So anyway, good luck to you. I won't be here next week, but who do you have to thank tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank you guys here in the broadcast and everyone at Goat Locker that puts these races on. It's a lot of fun to run each week, and got to thank Jam Printing and Promotions, V-Speed, Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, and GTR Simulators. It's been a lot of fun to run this series, and got to thank them for supporting it.
Absolutely, and it's been a lot of fun to watch you, Jordan. Good luck going into the last race of the season, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
We will pull in now to the booth our third place finisher tonight, Chris Nail. Chris, how you doing? Chris Nail, you got a copy.
Hey, I got you.
Third place tonight. How's it feel?
It feels pretty good after joining the practice and thinking, I don't think I'm even going to make it to the end of the race. So honestly, third place seems pretty good. I think I threw the intimidator button on somebody there at the end and got me third place. So I think that was pretty cool. And yeah, here we are.
Yeah, you were in a couple of good battles tonight. What was it like trying to pass at this track?
So you get so loose going into the corner that you almost, but at least I don't want to pass somebody like that because I'm more than likely going to hit them. So it's kind of like you just have to wait for them to mess up big enough to where you can just go right around them and not have to kind of fight with them.
And this track, obviously very hot today, being the afternoon at Phoenix. What was your experience with that?
It felt like my tires were soup. Once you get through about, I'd say like 5, 6, pushing 8 laps maybe, you get past that and your tires get hot, you're just skating around. It feels like you're driving a kart. More than anything, it felt like you're driving a kart.
You got one race left this season. It's at Alton Park to decide the championship standings. How do you feel about that track?
I like to keep that track in my back pocket. That's a good one I like to do for officials in this car as well. So hopefully I can do pretty good. I'm going to run some practice here before the race too, which I usually don't do, which I should start doing, at least at the end. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I think I should have a decent finish.
All right, well, who do you have to thank tonight?
Oh yeah, let's thank iRacing, of course. We got MK-5 Design, Sim Motion, Harpoon Designs, Zat Graphics, of course. And I want to thank Logitech today for getting me a 3rd place somehow.
All right, congrats on P3, Jordan Trask. Chris Nail, excuse me. They're still showing Jordan Trask on the graphic, and I can't read. Thank you. Congrats on 3rd place, Chris Nail.
Appreciate it, guys.
Oops. Well, that was the end of our coverage tonight of the Goat Locker Racing MX-5 series from Phoenix. Daniel, any final thoughts?
Hey, it's been a pleasure. You and Kobe have been great all year for my first time up here commentating something for Goat Locker. I just want to say I'm really proud to be part of this organization and everything that they do. Tonight was a lot of fun. This season was a lot of fun. I hope they get to bring me back in the fall. I'd love to do more. And man, you guys are in for a good one next week. I'll be watching. And again, thank you guys for being so awesome to me on my first season doing anything like this. So thank you again.
Yeah, you were great up here in the booth, and we've really appreciated having you all season long. For everyone at V-Speed and at Goat Locker Racing, thank you so much for watching, and join us same time, same place next week for the season finale of the MX-5 Summer Series. Have a great night.